Yo, guys, Urb'n Barz brings you the best UK reactions to rap, hip hop, and urban music from all around the world. Guys, here at Urb'n Barz, I normally talk about the music, but today, guys, it's happened again. We are once again going to the Paris Olympics, and this is the sport of my youth, the sport of my life. There's a furore, people, and it's a sport of boxing, and in particular, women's boxing. Because, guys, it just gets worse. We just had just a few days ago what happened with what we might just want to call, I don't know, blasphemy with the opening ceremony at the Paris Olympics. But now, guys, this one has really raised people's heckles because we are now dealing in safety of participants, in my opinion. I'm just going to read you out a quick little blurb here from the Boxing News, and it's all about the fight that took place recently. And this was between the Algerian athlete Imane Khelif and the athlete from Italy, Angela Carini. And Imane Khelif, which is this person here in the red, is a trans boxer. And the girl in the blue from Italy, Angela Carini, is a female athlete, female boxer. Anyway, the fight took place earlier today and it was literally over in seconds as the Algerian trans fighter proceeded to beat up on the Italian lady, and it's been reported that this lady Carini has ended up with a broken nose and she finished the bout on her knees, unable or unwilling to carry on because of basically the difference between being hit by a naturally born female competitor and someone who has transitioned from male to female. I'm just going to quickly read a couple of lines from here and then just give you my perspective, people. So it says here, amidst some outrage about took place moments ago in Paris, this at the Olympics between the trans boxer Imane Khelif, or is it Imane Khelif of Algeria, and Angela Carini of Italy. And it says here that Khelif is said to be born with XY chromosomes and is therefore a male. But this was ejected by the IBA from the and was ejected by the IBA, which is the International Boxing Association, from the World Championships last year and was not allowed to box against women. But for some reason, this boxer has been allowed to go ahead and fight Carini today. And it says here the fight was over within just 46 seconds. Khalifi hit Carini with a right hand, and Carini raised her hand and had her headgear, which was dislodged by the punch, checked by a corner. And then when they started again Khelif landed a second right hand, and Carini raised her glove in surrender. And it's been reported that Carini has suffered from a broken nose. Anyway, so the issue here, people, is that I do understand we're all human beings, but there's ideological issues and ideological reasons that are at play here, people. And the sad thing is that boxing is not the arena and it's not the sport to play at ideology. It really isn't, because boxing is the hurt business and you will get hurt very badly, very quickly. So when you put in a person who was born, grew up genetically as a male, and then transition that person to a female, and then put that person into a sport against other females who have been born and raised and lived their entire lives as females, I am so sorry to say, guys, it is not fair. And I'll give you an analogy on that. I used to box. I still box to this day. I've had teeth knocked out, this, that, and everything else, people. I know what it is to go against huge fighters, huge people. That's not the issue. Because what the issue is, you've got a physiological issue of man's strength. When I was 13, I shot up in size and I looked like a guy. So I was fighting around about the 9 stone limit when I was 13. And then I shot up in size to about 5'8", something like that, 5'9". So I started sparring against bigger kids, but the kids were still my age. So I didn't have a problem sparring against guys who were a stone heavier than me, 2 stones heavier than me. So we were the same size, same height, etc., etc. But physiologically, we were still kids. But if you take a person of, say, 15 years of age, a kid still, and then you put them in against a senior who's 18, 20, 24, 30, there is where the difference lies, people, because that person has the man's strength. And I'm alluding that this is very similar to what's happened here between this person here, Khalifi, and then this lady here, Carini. This person, no matter what you want to say, and this is my opinion, has the man's strength. They've been born and raised as a person, a man, transitioned to a female. But if you put this person's strength in against this person who's a natural woman, there's no correlation. This person, look how much bigger they are. Look at the size even. But it's not even the size, it's the strength. This person has man's strength, physiological strength. And I know this will go back and forth, but if you put someone in on a level playing field, like you're playing drafts, you're playing chess, you're playing darts, you're playing bowls, then there is no hesitation, there's no competition. Males and females can compete evenly. But if you put someone in the toughest sport in the world, like say for instance boxing, MMA or something like that, I am sorry, but it's not going to end well, people. It's not going to end well. And I know all about it, people. So even on an age thing, so if you put someone who's a lot older against someone who's young and in their prime, that's a serious issue. But there's ways around that. But physiological strength between a man and a woman, there is no way around that, people. There's no way around that. I'm sorry. Boxing is the hurt game, and people will get badly hurt or worse in this attempt to try and prove a point. And this is what they're doing here at the Olympics. They're trying to prove a point, and they're going to end up with blood all over their nose because it's going to hurt. You do not play at boxing, people. You do not play at boxing. You can get away in other sports with all of this, but boxing is a sport which will find you out, and it will find you out in the most painful of manners. So my opinion may not be the same as yours, so let me know down here in the comment section. But my opinion is this person here, Khalifi, had a distinct advantage over this lady here, Carini. So Khalifi of Algeria had an advantage over Carini of Italy. And, well, I, for one, do not think it's fair. I have nothing against someone who wants to be transgender and to transition from male to female or from female to male. But when it comes to competing in sport, especially and particularly in such a dangerous sport and a hurtful sport as boxing, it should not happen. It should not happen. It should not happen, people. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I mean, this is crazy. And it all boils down to, again, the question of what about women's rights and women's rights to compete in sport on a fair and level playing field. I've been following for many years people like Sharon Davis, and she's had so much abuse for trying to defend and represent women in sport. So much abuse. It is absolutely sickening. I know that recently J.K. Rowling's got involved in this, and we need to start to look and say, I remember, what was the film? The Titanic. Wasn't it always children and women first, or women and children first? So what's happened in this world where women are not put first with children? And I'm listening to a lot of women being shouted down because they've tried to stick up for themselves in safe spaces for themselves, and they're not allowed those safe spaces, and they're being called as being perpetrators of hate speech. So I'm not going to get into it here, but guys, on the pure one attribute, it's not an attribute, but on the pure one, just, I can't even think what the word is, so I do apologize. But when we look at safety and just safety alone, we need to look into this and say, should someone who's transitioned from one sex to another be allowed to compete in a sport like this? Why don't we have a division or a category itself just for transgenders? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, people. Let me know in the comment section. And to be honest with you, all viewpoints are viewpoints, and everyone has a right to express their opinion. I'm not going to shout you down if you disagree with me. I'm not going to pat you on the back, etc., etc., if you agree with me. But we need to talk about this, because at the end of the day, someone gets badly hurt because of these ideologies. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. So let me know in the comment section, people. But guys, in between that, make sure you look after yourselves, you look after each other, you subscribe to my channel here at Urb'n Barz. And guys, boxing is my bag, so this one really hits home to me. But guys, more importantly than all of that, make certain you come back to the next Urb'n Barz reaction, guys.